We're back for another week of Fridays in the Field, brought to you by FNBO, the Great Big Small Bank. And we're near Henderson, Nebraska this week, catching up with my grower I'll be following all throughout the season. It's Matthew Hiebner. And Matthew, we'll just first start off by talking about your operation here near Henderson, and then we'll get into some of the practices that you do.
I come from a family farm, grew up north of Henderson a little ways, and then during college, I got an opportunity to rent some farm ground and kind of come back and do some farming on my own. We primarily raise corn, and we'll throw some soybeans in the rotation to break up any rootworm problems we have, or just different disease pressure for some of our non-GMO white corn. And then we run a few cattle on the side too.
You mentioned the different crops that you grow. You've got your cattle as well. Of course, everything seems to be planted around here. Give us a little bit of an update of where you're at in your growing season. What's maybe next for you?
Yep, so pretty much all of our corn has emerged right now. A lot of pivots running in the area, trying to incorporate herbicide, or maybe some guys threw down some 32 or some different chemicals and herbicides like that need to be incorporated. We've gotten about a 3/4 inch of rain since the 15th of April, so we're pretty dry right now, and we're just trying to add some moisture to our soil, the top few inches of our soil profile, and just help the crops move along.
You mentioned the white corn. What other varieties do you grow? In this area, I've even seen some seed corn that we passed by. Talk about some of the different stuff you do with that.
Yeah, so we just raise conventional yellow and white, and then non-GMO white. There are some guys that raise the seed corn around here. We don't have any involvement in that, but there is a little bit of that around here.
Tell us a little bit more about some of the things you're looking forward to with this growing season. Quite a bit different than a year ago. Did you have much flooding? Are you having any issues when you look at a year ago and now?
Yeah, so last year we were really wet, but in this particular area we were very fortunate, and don't know of very many acres that were had to go prevent plant, maybe a little bit of bottom area, but no whole fields. We're very fortunate, very well drained. We had a great planting window this year, and everybody was able to get their crop in. The majority of the corn was in the first 2 weeks of planting, and pretty much everybody's wrapped up now, except for a few of the seed corn acres that seed corn companies kind of control when they go in with that seed.
One of the reasons I wanted to have you as my grower this year, you practice relay cropping, which is something that not a lot of growers do, but has been popping up here and there. Talk to us about relay cropping for you and making that decision, and some of the things that you'll be doing with that.
Yep. So last year, neighbor and I, we put together a drill. We had some used Valmar box laying around, and he had a grain drill, so we robbed some row units off that and built a toolbar so that we could go in and do some intercropping. But as you said, it was very wet last year, and I had to side dress and ridge, and so I ran out of time. He was able to do some, and it turned out pretty well. Not quite as much growth as I think he wanted, but it was a great start. He's doing some more. He's doing a lot of a variety of mixture. One of the challenges that we found through that, though, was the herbicide plan, and how do we manage our weeds, and what kind of residuals can we lay down and still provide the cover crop with an opportunity to grow. So throughout this winter, I was kind of thinking through that and trying to figure out what I wanted to try this year, and I decided to go with soybeans. Primarily from the availability of a herbicide that I can lay down and control my weeds, and also chemicals that I can come back in after the beans are up and kill off any water hemp or palmer, or whatever decides to pop up later on in the year. So with soybeans, we're hoping to get them to, we planted them. I actually planted them with my planter right before I went and planted the corn, and then I came back and planted the corn. So the beans are in between the corn rows. I have one row of beans dead center between the corn rows, and then I also have some experiments of 2 rows that are split 7.5 inches apart in the middle. Really looking for some quicker shading on those, on that experiment to try and eliminate a post-spray scenario. And then also with the soybeans, maybe hoping to fix a little bit of nitrogen and maybe some soil health benefits in the future too.
All right, we'll look forward to keeping up with that throughout this growing season. It'll be a few weeks, a little over a month the next time we get to visit with you. What are some of the things you'll be doing in the meantime, weather permitting?
Yeah, weather permitting. Well, we got a little side dressing to do and a bunch of shop work, building some grain bin parts this year, and start doing a little post spraying, I would guess, in the next couple weeks. And yeah, hopefully not running any pivots. Hopefully we can catch a rain this weekend.
All right, thanks so much. We'll catch up with Matthew here in just a few weeks. We'll follow him all throughout the 2020 growing season. Thanks, Matt.
Thank you.